And welcome back to the show. I'm Joe Concha, joined by Rick Unger, Heather Hansen, and Hank Scheinkoff. When President Obama made this announcement back in November, the response was less than favorable.
There are actions I have the legal authority to take as president, the same kinds of actions taken by Democratic and Republican presidents before me, that will help make our immigration system more fair and more just. Tonight, I'm announcing those actions.
So instead of working with Congress to come up with a bipartisan solution on immigration, the president used executive action to create an amnesty program to legalize millions of illegal aliens. Well, today, a new Rasmussen poll reveals exactly what Americans are thinking about immigration, and the results are not likely to please this White House. Let's show it. Rasmussen finds that 62% believe the government is not aggressive enough in deporting illegal immigrants. 51%, more than half, do not believe illegal immigrants who have American-born children should be exempt from deportation. That number is up considerably from last November, when only 42% disagreed with deportation exemption. And get this, more than half, 54%, continue to feel that a child born to an illegal immigrant mother in the United States should not automatically become a U.S. citizen, which is currently the case. And finally, a whopping 83% think people should be required to prove they are legally allowed in the United States before receiving local, state, and federal government services. Overall, the poll obviously showing Americans are getting more angry about illegal immigration. And here in New York, there is an effort to make it legal for illegal aliens to vote in local elections. So now, joining us via Skype is Ira Melman. He is the media director for the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Ira, welcome to the show. Appreciate it. These numbers certainly show Americans not becoming more accepting of the president's plan. I was actually surprised the numbers were as high as they were.
It shouldn't be surprising. You know, a lot of the other polls ask questions in a way that are designed to elicit the answers that they want. But quite frankly, the American public understands the impact of mass illegal immigration on the United States, and they're fed up with it. Whether the president cares what the American public thinks is another question. Clearly, he doesn't. He doesn't care even what the Constitution says are the limits of his power. So he's going to move ahead, and it's now up to Congress to stop him.
Yeah, and I should clarify what I had said right before I asked you the question. It seems the media narrative is that, well, what are you going to do, deport them? And it just seems like every politician, I don't know one that's running for president that would actually come forward on a platform saying we should start deporting illegals and particularly children. And I think the 2016 election, everybody's going to talk about it, but in terms of this topic, but I don't think anybody's going to have really the gumption to do what many Americans in this poll say should be done.
Well, first of all, mass deportation is a straw man argument. The choices aren't between mass amnesty and mass deportation. It's between mass amnesty and sensible enforcement of our immigration laws. We have mass illegal immigration because this administration in particular, but also previous administrations, made it clear that if you came here illegally, you'd be able to get a job, you'd be able to get access to benefits and services. We wouldn't be enforcing the law too vigorously. Under this administration, they're not enforcing the law at all. But what we need to do is rely on the fact that illegal immigrants make rational choices. They came here for rational reasons. If we enforce our laws in a sensible way, the same way that the IRS, for instance, enforces the law, people will choose to voluntarily comply. That's been poo-pooed as self-deportation, but it actually works. We saw it during the recession when the jobs dried up. The number of illegal aliens living in the United States declined. We can effectively create that situation by simply enforcing our laws in a very logical way.
Ira, it's Rick Unger. I noticed that you pointed out, and I understand your point of view on this, that the president ignored the Constitution by using his executive order. Fine. I wonder, though, why you and the 50-some% of Americans who don't believe that children born in this country from illegal mothers, that they don't care about the Constitution. The Constitution makes it completely, unarguably clear that if you're born in this country, you're a citizen of this country, and yet you're not willing to back that up, it seems.
No, it actually doesn't make that clear. The 14th Amendment stipulates that you have to be within the jurisdiction of the United States, not territorial jurisdiction, but within the legal
jurisdiction. Well, what if you're born in Texas?
You go back, you read what the framers said at the time. Back in the 1860s, they were very clear that this was an amendment to grant citizenship to the emancipated slaves after the Civil War.
Wait, excuse me, I've got to follow that up. What do you mean territorial? If an illegal mother's in Chicago and has a child, those 54% say that kid shouldn't be an American. You say that, and yet that's not a territorial issue. They're born in Illinois.
No, first of all, not every child who's born in the United States is automatically a citizen. The children born to foreign diplomats are not U.S. citizens.
I'm sorry, Ira. You got to do better than that, man. Seriously. Let's not talk about foreign diplomats. We're talking about somebody who crossed the border illegally. That's what that poll's about.
If you were in the United States, you have to stop at the red lights like the rest of us. But you are not under the same kind of jurisdiction of the United States that the rest of us are.
What?
And that is the legal distinction. And it's not just me saying that. There are constitutional scholars who say very clearly that the jurisdiction means that you have to be under the complete jurisdiction of the United States, that even when you leave the United States, you still maintain the jurisdiction of the United States.
Ira, I'm going to have Heather Hansen take the baton from you and continue this debate with Mr. Unger. Thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. So Heather has been chomping at the bit to jump in here, so go ahead.
But there is an argument that is often made, and in fact in 1993, Harry Reid put forth some legislation to say that the part of the 14th Amendment where it says under the jurisdiction of the United States does not include those people who are illegally born here. And they go back to
They're not illegal.
the intention.
Wait. How can you be illegally
born here to an illegal mother?
It does not say that in the Constitution.
But Rick, listen. All I'm telling you is
You
that
don't
there
agree with
is.
that. Admit it.
I think it's a stretch.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Thank
stretch,
you.
and I think
and
you
yet
would need a
Ira was
constitutional
trying to make
amendment.
some argument that was insane.
Hank, jump in.
The politics here are very different. People don't like the fact that the president did what he did.
I don't
That's
care.
part of
We're
what's
talking
driving
about
this.
the Constitution.
Hold on. I'm not talking about the Constitution. I'm talking about the President of the United States. That he usurped the power of the people. He does it constantly. That's his way of operating. If he says it, yes. If not, it's his way, the highway, or no way. Period. End of discussion.
That's not
That's
the
what
issue.
and they're responding to also to the increased economic gap between the rich and the poor in this country, and they're very worried about it. Whenever you have these kinds of numbers, and if you look at the history of the United States and its politics, when you've had these kind of explosions about immigrants, they often have to do with economic conditions at the time.
Well, but it's that, and to talk about the issue that you're getting to, it's the things that are in the news. Just a month ago, the feds did a sting on these birth hotels where people from China are coming here just to have children here.
I understand.
So there is.
But you're
listen,
both off the point. Wait, let me say something. Look, I understand that you're cutting them a break. That's nice. I understand what's going on. That's not what we would like to see happening.
I'm not cutting
But
them a break.
excuse me, we have a Constitution, and the very people who stand up and say don't ever vary from the Constitution are precisely the people who want to ignore it for the reasons you're both pointing out.
Guess what? We'll be talking about this sometime this week again, I can guarantee you, as the show host. Coming up next, Hillary Clinton put Americans at risk by keeping her emails on a private server. One top intelligence officer of the Obama administration says, yes, that's a problem. This is the Daily Wrap.